Hello, friends, loyal audience. Welcome to my world or universal ranting, diatribe, and gloating center. So today's show is specific pick. The category is specific pick. Today, an advertisement by Shrimp Trump popped up on my, tube channel or something like that as I was listening to music and so on. And then like last week and the week before also, or like within the last week, couple of ads also by Shrimp Trump popped up on my screen. The last two is he's giving a gold bar, Trump gold bar. That's what's called bribery or buying your votes. Uh, and today was apocalypse. He's talking apocalypse attack on America, right? So the last two were gold bars, like on Black Friday and so on and so forth. I don't know if you received that ad or you were targeted by that ad and received the gold bar. I wouldn't take anything from that guy if it was like a mountain of gold. I wouldn't if I was you. Today's, and that reminded me of something. Do you remember when George W. Gave, as soon as either he was in office or promised or something, promised $500 in cash for every child, like dependent? I remember, I didn't ask for it. It just came in the mail by the IRS, I think. $3,000. I had 6 children. $3,000. I deposited in the bank, and I never voted for the guy. It's not his money anyway. Because the 3,000 or the $500 he paid for a dependent, he took back by 1,000 times more, right? He destroyed your future. Now today's advertisement by Trump is apocalypse, attack on America, and how these, even if the store shelves were empty and the song, scare tactics and so on. Now, the new tactic is to scare the Americans into voting for him. So first he dangles a carrot or a gold bar. Next he threatens apocalypse. Guess what? Now he's trying to guarantee. Well, it's not him who's given that gold bar. It's that huge machine of the Netanyahus, of the Kissingers, right? The Kissingers and Netanyahus. Now I'm going to tell you something a little bit. Ever since those Kissinger pups and Netanyahu's pups, or his brothers, right? Kissinger is the overseer. He's the motivator, mover, dictator. Well, not just him. There's like a whole slew of them, or whole big tribe of them. When George W. came in, when George the father, or let's say start with Reagan, right? He started doing bad stuff, really. Lockerbie happened, so Hezbollah and Iran and Syria carried out that Lockerbie attack, and then they accused Libya, right? And they attacked Libya, and they blah 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 blah. Finally, they made them cough up $4 billion, and Libya had nothing to do with that Lockerbie attack. That's all the work of the Iran's regime, the Syria's regime, the Putin's regime. It's that same club headed by Netanyahu. Libya had absolutely nothing to do with it, and Scotland, the authorities in Scotland do know something about that. Is why they released the main suspect, right, Migrahi. They say he was cancered and so on, but they know it's not them, and they made them pay like $4 billion restitution or reparation, which really never went to the families of the victims, or if any went to the families of the victims. Were a little bit, but then Trump started attacking here and there, and he was working with the regime of Assad, not this guy, his father, not this donkey, but his father. Remember the attacks in Lebanon and the shooting down of Mark Goodman, and they started giving credit for that regime to appear as an opponent or opposition to the United States. That was in the early 80s. Do you recall all that stuff? Oh man, these guys are subtle, but not enough, right? When they get to the last leg, They always appear, right? And then comes George H. Bush. Lo and behold, their brother Saddam and their brother Khomeini. Well, no, during the time of Reagan, right? Guess what? That 9 years old war between Iran and Iraq, between the brothers Khomeini and Saddam, right? Which did away with millions and millions and millions and millions, right? And then came the George H. Bush, right? Guess what? You know, the attack on Iraq that killed millions. You may think George W. killed millions. His father killed millions too. Oh, these guys. Notice those Republicans, ever since the Reagan era started, even before that, when Nixon took over, guess what? The Vietnam War, uh, and so on and so forth, right? Right. So these guys, whenever they take over the leadership, it's wars and famine and pandemics, and then comes George W. and he does again, that Iraq thing, which America paid dearly for. Iraq had nothing to do, absolutely nothing to do with the attacks of September 11th, and Afghanistan, and then of course later uh, Obama, Syria, and, Libya, and Yemen, and notice those brothers, right? Now Obama, Democrat, no Democrat, Obama is their brother, right? Uh, and now this guy comes and then he did what? Kill hundreds of thousands in Mosul, right? Because he wants Iran to take over Mosul, right? Which is a surrogate of Israel, right? Now this guy today is talking about an attack on America in his ad. Really? Isn't that what you did, you shrimp Trump? Isn't that what was January 6th, an attack on America? If anyone was going to carry out an attack on America, it is you in January 6th and Putin, your brother. These are the broods of Kissinger. Putin, Ayatollahs, Pinochet, Castro, uh, 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 Netanyahu, Xi Jinping, and Assad, right? And Houthis and so on, and right. These are the broods, the school of Kissinger, right? He's got this like place where he raises children, or whoever they are, right? Uh, and so on and so forth. So you may accuse me of being like anti-Semitic. Kissinger is not Jewish, just so you know. Uh, he lived on that song time and again, right? And he did what he did. He's a Kaiser, he's a Khazar, right? And these Khazars don't believe in Judaism, they just use it as a ploy to arrive at certain conclusions, wars and famine and destruction and so on. It's in their nature, right? Uh, Mass murder of civilians and I don't want to say. But now, don't believe this guy. This guy, when he's talking about an attack on America, impending attack on America, I wonder who would do that. Well, let's take some candidates, right? Let's focus on some candidates for the attack on America. I would say Putin, right? And he started that in January 6th. And you were his puppeteer, right? So that's one. Who else would attack America? China? Oh, isn't that your friend as well? You want to give him Taiwan? And you Republicans, starting with Nixon, started the transfer of the essence and everything that America accumulated in technology, in patents. You transferred that to China, right? And you continued that. Who is going to attack? Khomeini? No, the Khamenei, or whatever his name is, of Iran. I would believe that they're doing so, but Israel is their surrogate of Israel. I don't think they can do this big attack on America. They're already embroiled in killing so many Muslims in the Middle East and propagating the rule of Israel over these countries, right? So who else? India? I don't think so. India is a good big time friend of Israel, surrogate of Israel, and then they're big time friend of the United States. They have millions and upon millions of professionals here, qualified or non-qualified, who replaced the locals who invented this technology that these guys come to replace, right? Let's see, South America? I don't think so. Mexico. Mexico is going to attack America. How? Oh, I don't know. Canada. Uh, who's left? The only ones I see is a consortium of Putin, China, and Iran, uh, and their minions, of course, like the Saudis and the Gulf rulers and the Egypt rulers, and that attack is headed by Israel, of course. And you, Trump, your role was to facilitate their attack on the United States. How do we know? Guess what? We call it January 6th. Law enforcement agencies. I just heard this, and intelligence agencies. This guy bragging on an attack on America. This guy, Trump, right? Who said he saw people dancing when the September 11 attacks happens, who turned out to be Israeli Mossad, right? This guy has a plan. When he's talking about an attack, I don't see anyone else except him and Putin. Law enforcement agencies, get ready for that day. When that day comes, whatever Trump was talking about in the attack on America, right, that will begin, and Sleepy Joe and so on and so forth, he and his minions are going to commence that attack. And if you're listening here, you already heard that advertisement being broadcasted in my house. If you value your future, and are you sick of these wars that Republicans led you into, whether it's Iraq or Europe or Vietnam or Korea or wherever it is, the Kissingers. If you're tired of these wars, guess what? If you don't stand up and fight now, resist now, that is coming. And you're the first one to go, you whites. You know, the other day I was walking and there's like this sticker on a truck. I see it every day. He says, this guy says, the sticker says, and he seems to be the Halibut, right? That he keeps his gun, his money, his freedom, and he's voting for Trump, right? Trump. And you keep the change. I was like, I'm gonna bring a sticker and stick it next to his. You vote that guy in, you're gonna lose everything and all. Especially you who support Trump, you also gonna lose your life. He's gonna make you lose that as well. These guys use you, but they don't reward you. They use you and they execute you. They take you out completely. They don't owe anybody anything. Remember Sadat, Anwar Sadat? He gave him peace. They killed him. Arafat, he gave him peace. They killed him. What do you want? Have a nice day. And, what's coming by that Trump? Whew.